What's up, kings and queens? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel today. I am the Eva Monroe, and today, after, wow, has it been 1 month? It's been over a month. I'm finally going to be bringing you my review of the two newest releases from the house of by Kilian, which are Apple Brandy on the Rocks and Lao Evert. So it has taken me so long to do these for a reason. I'm kind of at a point right now, tiny rant, where I'm kind of over this whole modern day perfumery thing. I feel like everything lacks originality right now. And I've said this before, but I may be at a point where I have just smelled some of the greatest stuff that I will ever smell. And it's a wrap for me. I don't know. If you look behind me, you may notice, and you may have noticed in my past few videos, that I have actually thinned down my collection quite a bit. I had a huge perfume and wig sale. I put it all out. I called my family and friends. I was like, come shop till you drop Saturday at 2 o'clock. And they showed up, and that's what they did. Anything I didn't love, didn't care about, hadn't touched, I got rid of it. And some things, to be honest, I kept some things purely for aesthetics. There are some fragrances still sitting there in my homage collection that are there just purely for aesthetics, just to be honest with you. So I'm over flankers, I'm over houses that keep releasing these fragrances, putting these fancy names on them, and it's just juice that smells like everything else we've already smelled in a different bottle with a different name. So today, however, I will tell you this. I did get a box in the mail that has some pretty wonderful stuff in it that I'll be sharing. And not only that, I have bow ties fragrances that I'm going to share with you guys as well, coming very soon. So the first fragrance that I'm going to share with you guys today is Apple Brandy on the Rocks. Now, I am very familiar with Apple Brandy, the original Apple Brandy from the house of by Kilian. And so when I smelled this, I already had created this thing in my mind of what the On the Rocks version was going to smell like. And I was pretty much spot on, with the exception of one thing that I did not expect. And I'm going to tell you guys about that. So the notes are pineapple, cardamom. There's bergamot in this thing, rum, some ambroxan, vanilla, cedar. There's cedar here, and there's moss in this fragrance as well, right? So I gotta be honest with you guys, and you know I do, right? The first initial blast of this, in my opinion, is like green apple Jolly Rancher. It's like a Bath and Body Works apple body spray or apple body lotion. That's what it reminds me of. When you spray it, you're like, oh, this is fruity and crazy. I can't believe this costs $195. So if you exercise a little bit of patience, which it's a skill that I lack, I'm working on that, then there's a slight spiciness that starts to take over, and the rum accord really starts to show up in this fragrance, right? So I told someone this. I feel like in the mid notes of the fragrance, when the rum and all that starts to kick in, I feel like the fragrance really wants to get some, pardon my French, balls, but it never really happens. It dries down very boozy and still appley, in my opinion, slightly woody in the ultimate dry down. Nothing exciting, nothing fancy, but I will tell you who probably would love to have this. Anyone who feels like the original Apple Brandy gives them that I drank too much last night and showed up for work today liquor smell. If you don't like that, if you didn't enjoy that part of Apple Brandy, I feel like you would enjoy this, because I do honestly think that it's the more, and I hate saying this, wearable version of the original Apple Brandy. But y'all know I don't like it when they lighten things up and make them all pretty and everything else, because if it was already a masterpiece or pretty close to being one, just leave it alone. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of the projection. I'm not a fan of the longevity. I'm not a fan of that like sour apple candy thing that's going on in the top. No apple note listed here, but the pineapple thing, I'm really not a fan. But it really does have a pretty prominent liquor note in it, rum note. You can still pick up on that rum thing throughout the fragrance pretty much. So now let's talk about Lao Evert, okay? So Lao Evert is absinthe, licorice, violet leaf, patchouli. There's some woody notes and some sandalwood here. Now, when I first smelled this, I was like, this is like extremely minty in my opinion. It's extremely minty. The mint note in here really reminds me of You or Someone Like You, Ite Libre d'Orange. And when I say minty, I mean like very minty. In the top, if you're not a fan of that minty green vibe, you will not enjoy this. However, it does really, really calm down. But then the thing about it, in my opinion, when the mint starts to calm down, I feel like the licorice note really, really kicks in. You really start to pick up the licorice note. And the licorice note is about as authentic as a licorice note can get. I don't like the taste of black licorice, and I didn't really think that I liked the smell of it. But I feel like the smell of it in this fragrance gives this fragrance a uniqueness that I can really appreciate, especially since I'm looking for something unique. I was really surprised by the licorice thing, to be quite honest, and the minty blast that you get in the top of the fragrance. I was not expecting that. So I do enjoy Lao Evert. Now, if I had it to do all over again, because I don't know if I mentioned this, I did purchase both of these with my own money. If I had it to do all over again, would I purchase them both? I absolutely would not. I probably, to be honest, if I had smelled them first, I probably would not have purchased either one of them. I feel like Lao Evert is really, I think that it may be a good fragrance for now, but I really think because of the minty blast and everything that happens in this fragrance, I think it would be more appropriate for the warmer months. I don't see this really being like a cold weather heavy hitter, because I feel like in the cooler weather, I really feel like the mint note would really be like really pronounced. It's almost like mentholy, to be honest with you. Mentholy. Is mentholy a word? Now, I do start to pick up on like a kind of dirty side of patchouli now. What I appreciate about the ultimate dry down of this fragrance is that it stays consistent. This fragrance does not have a lot of, it doesn't do any bouncing around or kind of going through all three different phases and everything. It stays pretty consistent throughout. So what you get in the top of this fragrance is basically what you get even in the base of this fragrance. And the only thing different is the mint just really starts to calm down a little bit. But out of the two, definitely my favorite. So again, I would not purchase either one of these over again. I did actually, so I sold this to my husband, and I know y'all gonna be like, sold it to, yeah, I sold it to him. Now what? So I could buy something else. Lao Evert, I'll hang on to it. Well, I sold Apple Brandy to him. Lao Evert, I'll hold on to it for a little while longer, play around with it, see if I can fall in love with it. But I will be perfectly honest and say that out of everything I've seen show up in these little bottles, Angel Share is definitely the one that takes the cake for me. I think Angel Share is actually Kilian's best review since Black Phantom. And I'll stand on that. I really will. Angel Share is amazing. But both of these, it's a no for me. So, Lao Evert, I'm lukewarm. Apple Brandy. And when I tell you guys, I have literally spent nearly a month with these, and just, there have been days where I've covered myself in Apple Brandy. There have been days where I've covered myself in Lao Evert and just really tried to fall in love and go there. And I'll tell you another thing. I don't know if I mentioned this, that the projection on Apple Brandy is really not that great. Lao Evert projection a little bit better, probably because of the mint and the licorice thing. Apple Brandy, after about 45 minutes to an hour, really does sit close to the skin. I heard someone say that this is a monster and it's beast mode. And they also said it was a masterpiece. And I was like, that's just my opinion though. No. So thank you so much for watching me today. And until I see you again, be blessed and bye for now. Let me know what you think about these in the comment section below. Let me know if you think I'm being a hater. I don't know. You guys, y'all know I love Kilian. Bye for now.